Welcome to Trading Lounge and the daily US stocks, but just before we start, I'd like to talk about the little survey that we put out about a week ago. And this is the response here. This is pretty much what folks are using. And I thank everybody for giving me that feedback, because it just gives us a bit of direction on what we should be doing more of, and so on and so on. So as you can see here, the Forex is the least used here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the Australian dollar into the Australian video, and the US dollar, the DXY, into the commodities video, and the Euro US dollar, that's going to go into the indices video in the Euro video there. So we'll just be covering the Aussie and the Euro US dollar, and I'll just do that in video format, and also the DXY. So we're going to unfortunately for a very few people, we're going to remove the charts for the Forex, and we're also going to remove the charts for the indices, the charts that we put up there in the opening session for the Euro session. So we're just going to focus on the videos for that. Now, Alessio is going to shortly start focusing on stock trades for the stocks that he's covering, and essentially the stocks that he's covering are pretty much all of the stocks from Cathie Wood's ARK Invest. Now, Cathie Wood's got a few ETFs, so we're pretty much covering most of those in those stocks. So we'll start putting out stock trades for those. So we're going to improve the stock side of things, and hopefully we're going to also improve the crypto side of things. So I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do that. I mean, it would be nice to have an updated weekend, as folks mentioned, and also probably just a bit more on that. So yeah, and in regards to finding the stocks, Alessio stocks there, so we need to improve the website. So I'll look at updating our current website, see what modules we can do, and I'll get some help for that. And I may even build a new website. I had started one before in WordPress, and the current website that we have is in .NET Nuke, and me and Marcia know .NET Nuke, so we're probably better off building on that. But I did build a WordPress site, so I'm not sure what I'll do with that just yet. But yeah, so that's sort of where we are for the time being. Yeah, so we hope to improve the service in that way, and also making the website better, and probably adding some more services during the year as well. All right, just thought I'd update you on that, and we'll continue to update. So the Forex charts and the indice charts that we do, they will be there until the end of the month, and then they'll finish at that point. And I will, spend extra time on some of the things that we're losing as well. So we'll make it better. Okay, alrighty. Okay, so we're looking at the daily US stocks, but I just thought I want to start with the NASDAQ here at the moment. Now, there is a really good case for having this as an A wave, a B wave, and 5 waves down here for a C wave, and we can put wave 4 here and be finished at that point. So we'll keep that in mind, but I could only turn bullish if this top was taken out, or close to the top. So we can get closer to that. So halfway between the 15,000 and the 16,500, they're both medium levels. The halfway is around the 1575 sort of area. So a nice solid support on that level there would sort of flick us to the upside. But in the meantime, we're looking for a rally here and then further downside. So that's pretty much the pathway of stocks, and we'll just go to the 100 ticks just to have a look in this particular area here, just so we're on the same page with the... So from wave B here, we're looking down at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for wave 1 here, and then an ABC going back for wave 2. It's possible to count that up as wave one, but I'll talk about that in the other video. The move down through here counts okay as 5 waves of 1 and 2 here, and then 1 and 2 and 3. 3 looks a little bit short, but it's actually longer than 1, and then 4 and 5 for 3, 4, 5. So we got this sort of, well, we've got a reasonable impulse wave to the downside, and then we're looking for the A wave here, the B wave, and then we're looking for, well, a 5 little waves up to here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into this box here. So really, as I just mentioned, if the market builds on that 1575, the halfway mark, or this is a 50-60% here, so if we see a nice build on this process here, well, then we'll need to flick to the long side and we'll be trading on the long side. But otherwise, we'll look for a move here and then a drop, and we'll need to look for the short trades. But we'll cover that in the indice video. But that's generally the path that we're tracking at the moment. So starting with Amazon here, as I mentioned, the market will be moving lower, and the thing is that I also would have mentioned that the market is moving into what we call group 1. So on the 3000 here, we've got 1, 2 and 3, that minor level. So really just the Fibonacci numbers 1, 2, 3, 5 and 8 here. So group 2 here, the midpoint, and group 1 here. Now, as the market was coming down into here, I mentioned that it would bounce a lot, bounce around a fair bit between, I'll just call it 100, 200 and 300, these things here, and that's exactly what it's doing, and I expect it to edge further. Now, if I'm wrong about this at this point, and we get a break above the wave 2 here, well, then we need to be on the long side at that point. But let's go to the tick chart at this point. So we talked about being short, not only in Amazon, but a lot of the other stocks. And because I was off, because I had I had 2 Pfizer, 2 Pfizer shots, and then I went and had the Moderna shot, and the Moderna shot sort of gave me a bit of a king hit, and it was pretty nauseating, and it happened on I had it on the Wednesday afternoon about 5 o'clock, and then 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning when I was making the videos. I'd done 4 videos, and then it really sort of hit me, it was kind of a bit weird. It was like a king hit. Yeah, unless you've experienced it, you won't really know how devastating it can be. So yeah, a bit of a eye-opener for me. So the first 12 hours was pretty rough, and then it sort of cleaned up sort of after that. But getting back to this, a lot of the stocks that I mentioned about shorting, now I've removed some of them because I wasn't there on the Friday to sort them out and things. But in most cases, most of the stocks have done something like this. So if you're short in anything, you'll need to keep the stop there. That's if you want to move through the rally, and that's if you kept it over the weekend and all those sorts of things as well. So in this case for Amazon here, we're looking for a bit of a rally, and then down at this point. I'm just trying to I'll double check on the 5-tick chart in a moment. In fact, I'm just going to go there now just to see if I've done the 5-tick charts, just my working station. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so it's all looking okay. Yeah, so once again here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, and we're looking for an A and a B and a C. So pretty much back up to the 32.65, I reckon. I mean, there's a bit of history here. Not much recently in this, but that would be the number for this. So probably the A wave, the B wave, and then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 up here for that. So yeah, anything dropping from that point we can look to short. So we can also just copy this. You may be able to get a better position than this, but I'll just leave it there for the time being. And I mean, once we're down here, once we've got that top in play, you can bring the stop down to this point here. So yeah, that's, what number is that again? Yeah, 32.65. That would be the number there. Alrighty, I'll just go back to the 100 ticks for a moment. Don't know if we need all of that. Yeah, I mean, it didn't look that corrective up here, but I'd have to label an A and a B wave here and all the way up for a C wave at that point. And there's probably, look, to be honest, there's probably different ways we could label all this down here. So we'll just be very careful. You know, if I am right with all of this, and, you know, it's been a bit of a rough journey coming through all here, but we've kept on the short side here and so on and so on. And once the 32 becomes the retested resistance, then the market would be pulled down to this number. So it doesn't really matter about my count too much. I'll do the best to count it, but it may not pan out the way that I expect it to. So really the, you know, the targets down here are you know, well, is the 3,000, and we'll see what it looks like on the way down. I mean, we may just have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and finish here on the 3,000, and that would be it at that point. So, you know, take the money off the table down here and all that sort of stuff, if that's the case. But yeah, so that's that. So let's just cruise on to Alphabet. So Alphabet's the same thing as well. We're looking at, well, an A wave here, a B wave here, and we've got 5 waves here. So I've always talked about, well, we can have wave 4 here, as you know. You may not be short here. I think we'll talk about going short again in here, but just for the exercise of it, and in case some folks are short in here, then we need to keep the stop above there. Anything above here now would be a long trade. Okay, so we need it to stay below that. It moved down here, moved back up to the 61.8 nicely. This is the daily chart for Google here, and we'll go into the 100 ticks and probably also the 5 ticks as well for this. Yeah, because we've got 5 ticks there. So yeah, it's really all about this little top in here, and so I don't know what I've said in here, but I know that I had this sitting here somewhere like this. But you know me in that if we were coming through a level like that, we just need to make it simple. If we're coming through the level here, I never go short here. I always wait for the first low to come in and watch this move up here. And normally this all corrections on all corrections are on lower volume, so lower volume here than the previous trend, so that always helps as well. So that reference point low there is important, and we can go to the second one. That's kind of what we're doing here now. We've got this low in place, so we can go to that second low here. So that sets up that. Now it may just drop from this point, but in most cases when we're looking at this is just a slightly different picture, but this is the classic trading levels pattern 1 on the bearish side. So that's the low. Then we've got an entry over here for this, and then I'm actually expecting the market to push back up above the level, and then what that will mean, it'll come back down. We can still use that to add to positions and that to add to positions, but we should be able to get a better entry over here. Now you could go shorting up here as well, but if you do that, use a smaller position size, and this little pattern in here, that very simple down, up and down, it won't be like that. It will actually it'll have this bigger picture here, all instilled in this little pattern here. So we'll come down for the arrival, the reaction, the first low below the level. We don't short that. We wait for the retest, and then we can go down at that point. So we can draw that out a little bit further here now, but from wave B up here, we've got wave 1 here and 2 here, and then down for wave 3, 4, and 5. Now, in most cases, we would expect wave 3 to be the longest, but it may not be the case. Wave 1 may be the longest in this. So because our target area is down at the medium level here of roughly the way, well, even to this point over here, that's, you know, that's where it can come down to. So I think it's all going to get squashed up down here. So just be prepared for that. Don't expect a massive third wave to come down or anything like that. It'll be tougher than we think it is. Let's just go to the 5 tick charts and just check on this a little bit. So we've got wave 1 here with an A and a B and a C for wave 2. And then we've got this impulse wave down here as wave 1. We could possibly put wave this green wave 2 here, but it looks a little bit impulsive up there as a 5-wave structure, and this also looks corrective. It's not the best impulse looking to the downside, so I'm thinking an A wave, a B wave, then wave 1 in here, wave 2 here, 3, 4 and 5 coming back up. It won't come back up too far because on the 2800 here we'll have 10, 20 and 30. That's group 1, so we don't want top of group 1, the 2830, finding a nice tested support. If that's the case, we'll have to turn bullish from that point, but we've got our stop above here, and we can go short here. So once that moves up there a little bit, then you can move that under to that low, but then we'll move it over to this low, because we're going to get a little classic trading levels pattern in here. So I'm just talking about refining it. You know, you could probably, many roads to Rome, as they say, we could probably put that through there as well. If you can count the 5 waves up there, you could get a small position up here, but that's, you're really exposed at that time. So make it small and then look to build back under here as well. So there's a lot that you can do. You just need to build up your skill set, and the only way you can do that is through observation. Even if it trades, like when we're talking about group 1 here, 10, 20 and 30, if the market trades up at 30, even slightly above 30, if it trades up at 30, let's say, and then the market comes down and finds the number 2 here as the resistance and a retested resistance with a little classic trading levels pattern, then you can look to put your first position in there and then build under this here. Okay. Moving on to Apple, the same thing again as well here. From the top here, we're looking at 5 waves down. So we were looking for a B wave to come back up, so we've got that in place, and then we're looking for this to come down. So in this case, we're looking for it to move on down further here. So down for 1, back for 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So we'll move to the 100 ticks. Okay, so there's that little B wave up there. I've got this counted in sort of 2 ways, which I need to explain. So this is one way to count it, with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here as wave 1. I'm kind of okay with it, not that happy with it either, but just want to go over this one first with the A wave here, a little A, B, C here for the B wave, down for the C wave, and here we're looking at 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. So still another little move, probably some little dance here across this level and a push up probably to these old highs here, maybe a bit further, and then we come down from that point. But I want to take you to the 5 tick chart now and just address this in a different way. Okay, so this is a slightly different count, and I sort of kind of prefer this a little bit. So this will be their top over here. So we have 5 waves down of 1 and 2, and 1 and 2 here, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 for the 3rd wave, the 4th wave and the 5th wave here, and then an A and a B and a C here for wave 4, and we come down for wave 5 here of wave 1, and then go back for wave 2 to the 61, so dropping into the 170 area here, and then dropping at that point. Sorry about the background noise. It was Minky just scratching at the door to get in. I don't know how he got out. I've been wandering the streets again. Yeah, so I guess with these 2 counts, the thing is that I just think trade less is more, and have a wider stop, you know. Yeah. Alrighty, let's cruise on. Square. So with Square here, I think we're pretty close to having a low in. We've got a nice volume spike here. This is the 60. This box here is the 50% and the 61.8%. So we're right on the low here. You can see some volumes come in through here. So there is support right on this point. We'll look at it. Now look, I've had this here as an A wave, a B wave, and down for the C wave here. But the reality is that it can also be wave 3 here, and we come back up for wave 4 and then go down. I really don't know the answer to that. All I can do is that let's say that the market does start to move up or we get our first little move up here and it's impulsive, well, then we can look for long trades on that impulsive structure. But how far, this is the same with PayPal as well, by the way. So this chart's a little bit messy in a way. So I was looking at it over here. So this is square here on a daily chart. And so, yeah, from the top here, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I've had it as an A wave and a B wave. And then I've got 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here and 4. And then we're looking for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've kind of got that low in place. But we just really need to gather some evidence, and you can see that that's at the 130 area, and that when you see the number 3, it's always group 1. So we could always expect a bounce off the number 3. So number 3 to me is the 4th strongest number. So we have 1, 5, 8, and 3. So it is a strong number, and we will see a bounce here. We'll just keep an eye on the bounce and see if we get an impulse wave, and then we can start working long trades. So if this is a low, yeah, anyway, let's just, we need to talk about this a bit more, but let's go to the tick chart here now. The last time we spoke, we were looking at this being a wave 4 up here. It looked a bit impulsive up here, but I did have another look at it, and the best fit is the A wave here, a B wave here, and then 5 waves up at that point. But anyway, it didn't find support on the level. We were patient, and I wasn't there to help with the short. But I think it's okay to talk about things in hindsight because there's always lessons there. So if we were going to short it, we had this first move down here and then the retest here, and that would have been the position to short it at here for the thing, and then the stop would have been here, and then you can bring the stop down to here, and if you'd missed all that, you could have got this one through here as well on that retest, and so on. We're hitting the 130 now. We can expect to get a bounce. I haven't pulled this apart here. There may be one more little low to come in through here. I'm not going to worry about it today with this, but yeah, once again, if I can just bring in, how much do I need to bring in here? So yeah, from the top here, I've looked at this as being the A wave and the B wave. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, but with the 5 waves here, the wave 4 here overlaps wave 1 over here for that. So it doesn't present a nice case for having an impulse wave here. But I also know too is that when we're working with large numbers, and 250 is a large number, it's a medium level, carries a fair bit of weight. So this is where the wave count gets skewed at this point. It tightens up. The 3rd wave here is not that long, and the 4th wave is a bit bigger. And so it's possible to be 5 waves, and you need to be a bit philosophical about it. I mean, wave 4 overlaps wave 1 a fair bit in the markets, but look, hopefully it is corrective, we can look at it as an A wave here, a B wave here, and a C wave here for this, but if it's going to be wave 1 here and then wave 2 back down low here, then it's normally a 5-3-5 structure. So there's still problems with all of this. We've counted this quite, in a fair bit of detail. I've taken away the detail, but left the shell there of 1 and 2, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 for the 3rd wave here. 4th wave was a bit small, but I stayed with it as 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. We've been through all of this, and so that's where we are at the moment. So what we need to look out for now, we'll just give it a couple of sessions because I haven't pulled this apart here, and I wasn't quite sure about this particular move here, but it's probably 1 and 2 to here. I'll have a little bit of a look at it as we go. But if we start to see an impulse wave build to the upside, we can expect more of a bounce and a move up in that. But if we see a nice impulse wave, the idea will be to maybe get a couple of positions under the level here if we get a nice impulse wave to the upside, and then start building on top of the 50 here. At the same time, we've got to be mindful of this wave, this wave C here being a wave 3, and then coming back for a wave 4. The wave 4 can pull back to, and we'll also need to check PayPal as well. So that's something that we can do in amongst all of this. So the 38.2% retracement level is way up here. The wave 4, one lesser degree, is here. So normally what I do is just grab the top of this wave 4 and this one here and put that there, and that would be the target for this wave 4. It's kind of just a starting point, and but yeah, that's all tradable and doable, but we just need some evidence of a turn. We don't want to be buying it at the bottom because we just don't do that unless we're really confident, and yeah, there's other things at play here. So let's just see how this pans out, and we'll start to have a closer look at PayPal, and because these two guys are moving together. And there may be even Shopify and a few other sort of things like that in there too that we need to check on. So anyway, that's that. So nothing to do there for the time being. Over to this particular meta platforms now. So we're also looking for this to move down further. So we've been looking at all of this as a impulse wave down through here. It is possible to have wave 4 over here with wave 1 here, an A and a B and a C here for wave 2, and then building further up there. I understand all of that. I can also see too on the intraday chart here, we're looking for a move back to the box, so we've got that. But it does appear that the market wants to move up a little bit higher here to the 340 sort of area before moving down again. So looking at this as an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave up here for the next correctional move, and then moving down from this point. So with that said, let's go in and have a look and figure things out a little bit. So yeah, so in a bit of a nutshell here, we're looking at wave 1 down here, and an A wave, and a B wave, and a C wave here coming into the 340 area here. Now, I'm thinking that it may not be the case, and we could look to short, and in a nutshell, we can short below these lows here, really. But this move here, it looks a bit impulsive up here with an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave here, and a little 5-wave structure here, and then wave 1 and 2 here, and building to the upside here. So that's what it looks like to me, but we can go short at that point. Well, really, when I say at that point, then you've really got to think, well, the 330 is the closest largest number, so if it came down, it would probably have a bounce again and then move through and then retest, and then we can look to short it at that point. That would be the right thing to do, and there may be a second low in there that you can move into and so on. But to have this number here with all the short orders building up at that particular point and locking it in there, that's what that's the safety. But at this stage here, this currently as it stands, this looks like a long trade here. Well, let's just not get too close to the market because it hasn't really opened yet, but we could put it there. You can get closer to it if you want. This move down through here, yeah, it's a bit of a tricky count. It doesn't really count very nicely as 5 waves, but that's, like I said, if this 330 again here, I mean, it's possible that the whole because we had it here locked in here as the A wave here, the B wave here, and the C wave here for that, and I understand that, and that's how we had it. We're looking for 5 waves down here, and that really may be the case, but I just think we're going to be doing something of this nature first. So, but just to offset that and counteract that, if this number here becomes the retested resistance, then you can be on the short side. So that kind of keeps us safe at that point. I'm going to go to the 5-tick chart here because I've got that there and I need to check on what that is. Okay, same count. So a different 1 degree smaller, but that's all. But looking at this is an A and a B and a C wave here. Not a very good C wave either for that. I suppose we could force it as being 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 here and 5 here, and then having an A and a B and a little C wave up here that's just doesn't take out the top here or anything, stays below that, you know, or below all this. Well, that was the other thing I noticed as well. It was like, I suppose we could look at that as wave 1 and 2 here, and then 3, 4 and 5. Yeah, that kind of works as 1 and 2 here again. But then it's just this wave here that was really a bit too short, because here I can see 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 in here, a bit more dodgier than that, but still leave that as the third wave, which is really short, you know. And then there's overlap on 4 and 1, so there's, you know, there's a lot going on here that doesn't quite make sense. The only other way to do it is put wave 4 over here, so wave 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here, but I would have pulled that apart and had a look at that. So yeah, so look, we can only short it if the 330 becomes the resistance. Otherwise we can expect it to move up a bit higher. How far it goes up, I'm not quite sure. It may do something quite small and then do that, or it may push up here further and do that. So let's just see how it opens and what sort of pattern we get on the Monday, and we can pick it up from that point. But yeah, I mean, as a trader, that's fantastic support on this level here on the 330. So on the Monday, any strength that I would see here, I'd be looking at going long here. And in fact, I'd look at it like this is 330, that's on top of minor group 1. So subgroup 1 is 10, well, 1, 2 and 3 here. So that's 3 here. So if I got a classic trading levels pattern on that, then that's where I'd be looking to go long from. So just dressing this up a little bit, you know, because you basically, the reason for doing this is you want the market to prove to you that it's strong. So the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, and then the ABC correction, and then you set up at that point. You know, you don't get the best position because I woulda, coulda, shoulda gone long here and all the rest of it, but this is kind of safety first. I mean, if you're going to go long on this earlier, then this would have been at this stage here, the high here, then you can go down to this one, and that would have been the long trade at that point with the stop under here at that point. But we weren't there, but we're doing the same thing over here, because we don't know how far it's going to rally. And if you remember what I said about the Nasdaq, how far that's got to go, then not far at all. So, you know, we have to be a little bit careful. But this one here looks at all of this here as wave 1 here, and an ABC for wave 2 here, and then 1 and 2, and then this sort of, I still need to understand that a bit further. But in a nutshell, we're looking for 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 up into the 340 sort of area there for that top. Okay, Tesla. So with Tesla here, it's sitting nicely on the 1000. 1 is the strongest number and all those sort of things. This move up here counts quite nicely as 3 waves, not 5 waves. I suppose if this market, if you're you know, wrapped on being bullish, well then it would definitely need to take that top out to prove to you that it's strong, and that I'm wrong. That's the point I'd be wrong or invalidated or whatever. So we've been looking at this in 2 ways. We've been looking at it as a triangle pattern, so an A wave, a B wave, and then a C wave down here. This C wave down here, the C of C, would be an A wave, a B wave, and then just 5 waves down to this point. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. And then we'll go up for D and E at that point. So we're just keeping them in the background. But otherwise, we're looking at wave B here with wave 1 here and 2 here and going down for 3, 4, 5. We could probably count it a little bit differently as well, but we'll just keep an eye on all these things. Let's just go in and have a look. So yeah, there seems to be a nice impulsive wave down to this point here. So down for 1 and back for 2. That's the box here. So looks like we need to go a little bit higher the way that I've got that there. So let's go in and check on that. Might just bring in a bit more data here for that. Yeah, so from the B wave top up here, we've got nice clear 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 coming down. And then we'll look for the A, B and C here. So we could look at this as wave 1 or wave A, depending if we're looking at the triangle or not. And then wave 2 or B, triangle or not. And then we need to count this down here. So how have I done this? I've got the 5 tick chart there. I've had a bit of an issue with this. I need to go to just eyeballing it. If that was the third wave, it's a bit small. I think I've got it as wave 1 and 2 here. So let's just go to the 5 tick chart. I didn't update the 100 tick, but let's see what I've done in here. Okay, so this is our move down for 1 and 2 or B and 2 there. So this is the way I've counted it to get my 5 waves down. So I pushed the barriers a little bit, but 1 and 2 here, and then 5 waves down for 1 and 2. And it's quite interesting, that's pulled back up 50-60%, so that's good of that move, so that's good. And then we've got 3, 4, 5 here, and then wave 4 here. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 for wave 1. That's how I've counted it. And then we're coming over for wave 2 here, so the same as the Nasdaq. The interesting thing here, you can see this first rally move here, you can see that it's in 3 waves and not 5 waves. It might be a bit complicated in here, but we can see we got this leg here, and then we've got this corrective leg, and then we've got, so this being in 3 waves here tells me whatever happens over here, it's connected to this corrective pattern, bearish corrective pattern. So I've labeled it wave A here, and A, B and C for the B wave, and then going up for the C wave. So in the C wave, we're looking for 5 waves. So we've got wave 1 here, and wave 2, and then we would need to look at this as wave 3 here. So I haven't pulled this apart. I need to have a look at this a little bit closer, but it looks like wave 1 and 2 here. I'm not sure what all that is. Is that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1 and 2, and that's probably 1, 2, 3, 4. It's connected to there. So this could be connected to there. So look, I'm not going to worry about it too much. I don't think this top of wave 3 has come in yet, and we need wave 4, and then we need wave 5 to come into play. So it's going to take us a bit of a session to finish that off there, but this is our target area up here for our retracement area there. So I suppose if normally we'd short under the B wave here or draw a line from here up there, but it's a pretty shallow line at that point, So we kind of need this to finish off here, and if you're going to short it and you can't see the wave count properly, but it comes up into the box here somewhere and you can see it dropping, well then this number here, the midpoint, the 5, so between 1,000 and 100, so it's 100 points here, dollars, whatever, so 1, 2 and 3 make up group 1, and we can see that we've got nice support on group 1. If we get support on group 1, we'll flick us up to the 5. We'll expect 5 being the second strongest number. We'll see some type of little correction here, and then we move up to group 2 here. So 1, 2, 3, 5 and 8 is a Fibonacci sequence as a price ratio, but when we talk about 8, we put in 65 and 72 here that make up group 2, and in this case it brings us into the 50-60% retracement level. So if it gets up there and drops, then this, you could probably short it there actually based on those 3 waves there. It'd be pretty safe at that point. So you can short it in the box. We can just turn that box green, but don't overdo it, at this point with this. Just a very small position there, one that's not going to bother you, if it goes up higher here, And the other thing is here is really just to look at the 50 here at a classic trading levels pattern on the bearish side to add to that position. Coming down into group 1 here is going to be bouncy. First of all, reflect some of this. And then obviously the 1000 is going to play havoc as well. So there will be, you know, if this moves down through here, this is going to be stormy waters in this area through here. So it's not probably a good idea to overtrade all of this. But that said, we've got wave 1 here and 2 here, and then wave 1 here and 2 here, then wave 1 and 2 here. So to get a few positions, you know, above the 1000, and then we can look to add below the 1000, because our target to the downside, if we can flick back to the daily chart here just to get a bit of perspective, is around the 800 for all of that. So yeah, somewhere down into the 800 to finish this off here. But net 1000 is going to give us some support and grief for the short traders. Okay, over to Microsoft now, and with Microsoft here, the same things occurring as well. We've got our A wave here, ABC for the B wave, and then we've been tracking 5 waves down here. We were looking for a, you know, corrective rally to go back up. That move there is in 3 waves, pretty clear. How far it retraced is, well, close to the 50%, so that's kind of okay-ish. I thought that maybe this could all be wave 1 here and 2 here, and then all the 3rd wave here, and then the 4th and the 5th, but I don't think that's the case. And then it appears that we're getting a nice impulse wave down here. Of course, we're going to bounce off the major trading level here, so we can expect that bounce, but let's just go in and check it on the video's taking a long time, but sorry about that. So we've got wave 1 here, wave 2 here, and then we're counted down as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 for wave 1, and then we're going for an A and a B and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So yeah, I mean, we've taken that, sort of tipped that low out there, and we've got, so there's a lot of things pushing us to that low side. So let's just configure this to a small position to short in this box, but don't overdo it. And then you can also look to short that way through here, that way through here. Once again, we've already talked about shorting, so you have a position up here. So this current position here, we can put just up here for that as a stop. You're probably not in there, but just in case somebody is, we'll just continue to play it out. Once that becomes the resistance here, then we can bring that stop down to that point, and once the 300 becomes the retested resistance and the market's moving down, then we can move the stop from here to here. From this point, then we can move it down to this point, but we need that to play out first. And we, you know, if you're short up here, you definitely want to be taking some money off the table at that point. I don't need that. I've got the 5 tick here, so I'll just see if I've got something different there for that. Let me just okay, so what have I got here? Okay, so this is a slightly different idea here, with things squishing up a little bit. So it's a bit of a long shot, this one, but you know, weird stuff happens, which is looking all of this as wave 1 here, 2 here, 3 here, 4 here, and 5 here, finishing into the 300 here. So yeah, it's just another way to look at it, and it's probably not the case, or it could be the case. We'll just see how the Nasdaq plays out. Just keep an eye. Just I'm trying to think outside the box all the time. So but yeah, so yeah, anyway, we'll keep an eye on that, not to worry too much at this point. Alrighty, thanks for tuning in. Alrighty, cheers.